Strength build Elden Lord looking General Radon. That's nice. Good job, Luca. Okay, they fucking took our boy down, dude. The balloon is down. It appears that a missile fire from one of the F-22s is what was used to shoot down the Chinese high-altitude surveillance balloon. So for all the speculation and all the conversations that we had, yes, you can still absolutely fucking blow up a balloon, okay? If you can track it on a radar, you can use a radar honing missile, okay? That's, from what I understand, you could definitely blow up anything that you can basically track on a radar, okay? I thought you weren't doing serious news today. Brother, this is not serious news. This is sad news, but I wouldn't say that it's like super serious.
Oh, damn. Stop. They shot. It's going at it right now. Oh, shit. It's hit. It's going down. What?
So my question is this. What happened? All of a sudden, you're fine to blow it up? You fucking liars. For the past couple of days, you're like, oh, we can't blow up the balloon because, like, what if there's, collateral damage? What if the fucking pieces of the balloon fall on top of civilians? Like, what's up? If it's Myrtle Beach, you don't give a shit. It went over the Atlantic. That's why. I mean, if that was the case, they would have fucking shot it over they would have shot it over Antarctica when it first fucking came into U.S. territory. They've been tracking it for days. They were like, it's Florida. Who gives a fuck? You might say it's because it's over the Atlantic, but I like to think that they wanted to shoot it over Florida because they don't care. Did I say Antarctica? Oh, God. Alaska. I am so fucking... Dude, I got to take a day off, man. My brain is not working. Okay. Wrong poll. So it was only above America for 2 days, and they claim it was for spying. Yeah. Okay. So couple different things here. I know the Pentagon has said like this is a surveillance equipment. This is surveillance equipment. This is surveillance equipment. This is definitely like a Chinese spy balloon. I'm a little iffy on that. I still don't fully believe that narrative. I think like, do I think it was like a weather balloon gone awry? Maybe not. But it just like kind of doesn't make sense as to why they would just like use balloon surveillance when balloon warfare, as we talked about already, has a long history in the United States of America, including the Japanese balloons that would firebomb American cities, which during World War II, which actually ended up killing 6 U.S. civilians, which the government at the time stopped the dissemination of information on. They basically hid the truth about balloon warfare back then. But I just don't believe that like a balloon can fucking own our defenses. Okay? I just don't think that a balloon can own the entire U.S. military. I think it's just like, it's a double whammy, right? I mean, as you can see, they very clearly blew it up. I think that it's a double whammy. One, it whips up the fucking battle drums against China, right? China is spying on us. China is spying on us. Of course they're spying on us. They spy on us all the fucking time. We spy on them all the time. We use balloons overseas for surveillance. We also use, and this is a much better way to do surveillance, like on the ground surveillance outside of satellite imagery, Cessna planes. Why the fuck would you like put an expensive piece of machinery like that on a balloon and then float it over when you have very limited movement, when you could just like, literally put it on the ass cheeks of any kind of surveillance equipment on the ass cheeks of a plane, any kind of surveillance equipment on a Cessna. We use it all the time, right? Like, we have many different ways of doing surveillance. China has many different ways of doing surveillance. It just like kind of doesn't make sense to do it on a balloon because of the limitations. There's just like genuine limitations with movement when it comes down to using a balloon. So I think they just wanted to just, bang the war drums a bit, right? They're like, oh, dude, China's making fun of us. They're laughing at us. They're sending balloons over our border in our airspace. No limitation when you control the weather. Oh, shit, you're right. Actually, that's a big 5-head take right there. China controls the weather. Therefore, they control the wind currents. Therefore, the balloon that they sent over our borders was full of fentanyl. And on top of that, they control the weather, so they control wherever the fuck they want the balloon to go. And they're making the frogs gay. Anyway, so yeah, there's a video footage of it. We'll watch it in a second. But I think there's a second balloon in Latin America too. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but they said it was like they said that this balloon was not gathering any intel that like they couldn't get over satellites or conventional methods that they already have, which is true. Which is why I always thought like it was strange that the balloon became like a bigger deal. And they have shit like this happens all the time. This is from just 8 months ago. They're actually doing to others what they claim is being done to them they cry airspace like little babies. The sheer entitlement and delusional belief that they own the world, can do whatever they want is so gross and depraved. The Chinese spy balloon hysteria really revealed the deepest recesses of the unhinged, paranoid U.S. imperialist psyche. They were so offended and scared that a random object was flying over their land, something they inflict on the world the entire... This is so true. This part is so real. Like, this is a very real take. It's like, damn, bro, you have one fucking balloon fly over U.S. airspace and like the entire country goes, what the fuck? Bro! What the hell's going on? Meanwhile, like, we do way worse shit, right? But, I mean, it's okay. Like, I understand why people would feel uneasy or whatever. And the media certainly is not helping ease that tension. They're actually leaning into it. A couple things I said. If this was like a very real, genuine national security threat, you wouldn't know about it. There's 0% chance. Like, maybe they would do like a little... Some fucking like OSINT guy would probably talk about it on Twitter, and then that would be it, okay? And then no mainstream outlet would be covering it, you know what I mean? They'd just be like, oh, it's nothing. It's not a big deal. Shut the fuck up. But the fact that they did like wall-to-wall, every fucking, the wall-to-wall coverage on this shit, the fact that they did wall-to-wall coverage on this shit kind of implies that like it's probably not that serious. And also on top of that, I mean, there you go. They basically fucking blew it up, and they had the capability to blow it up. They just didn't want like any sort of, potential collateral damage. But when has America ever cared about collateral damage, even on its own citizens? Like, if it was serious, they would have fucking blown that shit up, is what I'm saying. Digha 5363, thank you for the 25. Get the subs. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, not even Montana. I'm talking like Alaska. They've been monitoring it for 48 hours before it got to Montana. You think America would fucking let that shit enter its airspace if they legitimately thought that it was a national security threat? Get the fuck out of here. I do not believe that our $7 gorillion military, that has like weapons that you know about and weapons that you don't even fucking know about, including lasers, whether it be chemical lasers or whether it be lasers created by fucking heat and optics or whatever. You think those guys are gonna let a fucking balloon fly through our airspace? Get the fuck out of here! No shot. This ain't World War II, man. I was thinking about this a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet that they have like a secret weapon that is specifically created to blow up balloons since World War II. Like, there's no shot. That's how the military works. You know what I mean? There's no fucking shot these guys didn't have, like, anti-balloon defenses, because there was a time and place where balloons constituted a threat to American civilians in the homeland. So that's it. That's all you need. All you need is that, and then boom, immediately they're like, all right, we got to figure this shit out. Boom, they figured it out. I saw on Reddit that NORAD watched the balloon take off from China and the entire travel thereafter. Yeah. What is this? So, yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it's like a super serious thing, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But it gives you a good it gives you the opportunity to feel angry. It gives you the opportunity to feel angry. It gives you the opportunity to get mad. It gives you the opportunity to feel embarrassed because this like other superpower, it's like this other superpower has like embarrassed you on your own land, violated your airspace, something that like Americans are not used to. So they immediately react in a weird way. Like 9/11 is a great example of this. You know what I mean? That shit never happens due to America's like geopolitical position on the planet, right? Americans never feel unsafe at home in the same way that like everyone else around the world has felt due to their proximity to areas that America has fucking eviscerated, or due to America itself, So a little bit of their own medicine coming back immediately creates an environment of anger and frustration. But like I said, they always know. Like, America always knows. China always knows. They whenever they're doing even like surveillance shit, or if there's like a balloon that fucking flies into U.S. territory, you bet your fucking ass the Chinese government immediately informed the American government. You know what I mean? That because like otherwise that's a major violation. Like if that Chinese balloon had like weapons potentially like they were claiming, okay, or if it was a surveillance balloon, like that's crazy. That's an insane thing that would have happened without prior knowledge. At least it wasn't bombs attached to bombs. Yeah, dude. I don't think China is gonna bomb Montana with one balloon if they were, genuinely interested in starting World War III. Okay, like nuclear holocaust. You say Lockheed Martin is not going to sell Air Force an anti-balloon warfare upgrade for $500 billion, but like that already exists and it's Raytheon. Like they already have that. That's my point. They have like anti-balloon defenses. You know what I mean? Like that's not. It just didn't feel right when we were reading those fucking like OSINT like or NatSec Twitter people being like, well, here's why you can't blow up a balloon, and here's why a balloon is actually like the most effective counter to American surface-to-air defenses. And it just like didn't feel, something felt off about it, and they immediately blew that shit up with an F-22. So clearly that was wrong. Anyway, but yeah, it's just, it gets the people going. It gets people riled up. It shows that like China is embarrassing us, but somehow not in like a super meaningful way. You know what I mean? Our enemy is both strong and weak. Haha. Weak enough that like we destroyed their balloon, but so strong that they can still embarrass us. You know what I mean? Took a bit of time to dissect the spy balloon story, both how it portrayed in the U.S. and China's response. As you see, the more you think about it, the more stunned you get at the sheer absurdity of the whole thing. China spent a spy balloon over a highly strategic U.S. site. It chose to spy on these sites with a big visible balloon reported as being as big as multiple school buses and that anyone can see with the naked eye from the ground to demonstrate that it had the capability, despite having a plethora of other more discreet ways to spy like satellites or stealth drones, or even a fucking Cessna. The United States loves purchasing Cessnas and just strapping it with a bunch of fucking cameras and flying it over territory, okay? We do it. China could easily do it. They could use a fucking billionaire's private jet if they wanted to. You know what I mean? It's not like Chinese nationals can't freely fucking move inside of US territory. You know what I mean? Like, there are a million different ways that, like, China is currently actively spying on us, just like we are currently actively spying on China. Okay? But it's just stupid. This is like a very stupid way to do it. If it was truly espionage, I don't know why the fuck they would do it. You know what I mean? Why would they want to flex the capabilities they have with respect to, you know, something that is the worst surveillance technique possible, when there are a million surveillance techniques that they are currently implementing, just like we are, that is better for surveillance because you don't know about it. You know what I mean? Unclear that anyone doubted China had massive technology of check notes, hot air balloons, and why it therefore needed to demonstrate this capability. China chose to do so on the eve of Secretary of State Blinken's visit to China, where he was invited. And hours after signaling Blinken would also be meeting with Xi during his visit, a high-level meeting not granted to any U.S. Secretary of States in years. The story, therefore, being that China chose to disrupt the meeting with its own president and to sabotage its own efforts at a détente in the U.S.-China conflict. The Pentagon said it had been tracking the balloon for quite some time, and that it wasn't the first time such an incident occurred, but this time, for unclear reasons, it chose to do a public announcement. As a result, Blinken announced he was postponing his China trip. I think, like, part of the reason why the Pentagon announced it is because, like, you know, this was more visible than other weather balloons and shit like that. Now, the story from the Chinese side. To them, it was a fluke accident, the balloon being a civilian airship used for research, mainly meteorological purposes, that deviated far from its planned course. We talked about this yesterday and the day before. Because of strong westerlies, wind that flows west and east, and limited self-steering capability, the main characteristic of a balloon being, of course, that it can only go up or down. Remember, we talked about balloon tech as well, which for some weird reason was very impressive to Austin, that I knew how balloons worked. Like how you can like kind of steer a balloon. Anyway, by trying to hit wind currents, by going up or down. Anyway, a piece of WAPO seems to confirm this, quoting experts in national security and aerospace who said that the craft appears to share characteristics of the high altitude balloons used by developed countries around the world for weather forecasting. However, Intel Doge on OSINT Twitter said that that's not the case. So why would I believe experts in national security and aerospace who work with balloons on a regular basis, which, by the way, balloons are used on a regular basis for surveillance, for the record. They're used by the CIA. They're used by our military contractors globally. They have a lot of utility. It's just they don't have the kind of utility that you think they have, like being a covert spying machine, especially when it's at that size, especially when there are, like I said time and time again, many different ways of doing surveillance that is actually stealthy that people use all the time, all the way from satellites to planes. Is China spying on my birthday party? No, China was just trying to do a gender reveal, okay? And it went awry. And I'm sick and tired of it. Okay? These gender reveals need to stop. They were trying to do a baby gender reveal and it got fucked up, okay? We don't even know. We don't even know what kind of gender the baby is. Because they blew it up. Anyway, the Pentagon itself said that the payload wouldn't offer much in the way of surveillance that China couldn't collect through spy satellites, like I also mentioned, and that the balloon posed no serious physical or intelligence threat. i.e. the Pentagon themselves said that it would make 0 sense for China to use a balloon like this for intelligent purposes when it has satellites. Kind of begs the question why they decided to make a big deal out of it in the first place. Think of it like Russian bombers going near UK airspace, more of a test than it being actually useful. Okay, when you actually send Russian bombers near UK airspace, that is a demonstration of capability that actually constitutes a legitimate threat. It's not like that's a show of force that actually makes sense. A balloon does not. Do you understand the main component here? Because the balloon is not offering anything new. Do you understand the difference between a bomber doing showing its flight path, like doing a show of force that way, versus a balloon? Why can't they just this is a funny question, but it's real. Why can't they just talk to China and be like, yo, what is this? Well, they did. That's the funny part. They always do. There's no way. Anyway. Yeah. Capable of launching a payload that takes 48 hours to reach the mainland and can be tracked immediately from literally the starting point. Anyway, balloon extremely cheap, satellite extremely expensive. It does make sense to try both. What? Okay, but it destroys the purpose. Okay, you can't both simultaneously say that this is like a really valid method of surveillance when better methods exist, okay? And also say, well, they were just probably showcasing their capabilities when, again, better methods exist that they're still already using. You know what I mean? Like at the top of the hour, there are better methods that you can use to avoid the top of the hour 3-minute ad break, right? But the best methods are still, and I repeat myself over and over again, a $5 a month subscription or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime or getting gifted a sub. Now, the better methods exist. They're out there. They're covert. I tell you what they are, or I used to be able to tell you what they are. Now I can't tell you what those covert methods are, okay? But listen, you can use those methods as well. But if you don't want to use those methods, then the best thing to do is, a $5 subscription or a free one in the form of Twitch Prime or a gifted sub. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. This is not an official Chinese response, but it's still funny. Chinese diplomat Zhang Meifang says, maybe China was simply giving the U.S. a balloon, much like one would give a child to make them feel better. Butter Dish, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Anyway, let's watch. I mean, I've been avoiding this for the past hour, but I think it's time to finally watch this fucking balloon go down. I've been sad. This balloon had a wonderful life, a wonderful 48-hour lifespan, basically. Let's take a look.
I am checking around on several different websites.
Content warning, trigger warning. This balloon is about to go down, okay? He's about to blammo. If you're a fan of balloons, or if you have some, audio sensory issues as a consequence, like balloons popping, from what I understand, can be triggering in general for those on the spectrum. This is the biggest balloon pop. You know what I mean?
Here we're checking with the Associated Press. We're checking Twitter on several different official. Well, I believe it just happened there. That was it. Live, raw, and unfiltered. It appears that China spy balloon has now been shot down over the Atlantic Ocean. You are taking a live look here, live, raw, and unfiltered, as that balloon appears to be heading downward after it has been shot down.
So sad. So we've
been watching this all throughout the day here on Live Now from Fox. If you have been here with us, you've been watching, honestly, at this point, just to see exactly what happens. And it appears that we have now gotten our answer. It looks as though it has been shot down there right over the Atlantic. Not sure on the exact location, but as we mentioned, it is coming down as we speak there.
Yeah, now it's 99. It's no longer 99 Luftballons. It's now 98 balloons, you know? Pretty fucked up that they did that. Anyway, I'll let you decide yourself which story makes more sense. The sheer ridiculousness of this nth Red Scare episode is absolutely obvious to anyone with an iota of common sense, except sadly common sense needs to be critically short supply nowadays. Yeah, well, hey, did you perhaps consider that it makes me feel cooler, like I'm living in a spy movie and the Cold War is happening? Yeah, guess what? I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't factor that. Okay, and that like there is this, there's this threat to my existence as an American.
Hast du etwas Zeit für mich? Singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99 Luftballons auf ihrem Weg zum Horizont. Denkst du
Okay, we can't listen to music too much because it'll fuck me up. We'll get DMCA'd. 89, yeah, Luftballons. There you go. Brave soldier, Chinese balloon. You have served the Chinese Communist Party well. And that's it. Goldfinger? None of these are copyright free. If there was a copyright free version of 99 Red Balloons, I would watch it. Achtundneunzig. Yeah, you're right. Not 89. It's 98. I fucked it up. I said 89. F-22 AIM-9 Sidewinder FT balloon. We got him. Yeah? You feel like a big man, huh? You feel like a big man blowing up a child's balloon? Yeah? You think it's cool? You think it's cool to do this? That balloon caused so much joy in the lives of so many Americans. We liked looking up at the balloon and thinking, wow. But yeah, no, you're such a big man, America, killing an innocent fucking balloon. Also, as often, the real story is probably why the story became a big story in the first place. And the context is important. Blinken's visit to China, which could, one can always dream, have been a step towards some de-escalation in China-U.S. rapport. It was quite essentially foreseeable. First of all, no, I don't think that would happen. It was quite foreseeable that a story like this one would, on the eve of the trip, would have made it politically very difficult for Blinken to go. So a plausible hypothesis is that this whole episode is an attempt by internal U.S. forces to prevent any sort of U.S.-China détente. One alternative hypothesis, much less likely, is that it's internal Chinese forces trying to do the same thing by sending his big balloon. Unlikely because China has time on its side, so it gains from reduced tensions with the U.S., and there isn't any obvious faction within China who believe the contrary. It'd be immensely risky for anyone in China to do something like this. I thought about this as well. Like, I don't think you can have Falun Gong build something like that. I don't know. Like, I don't think it would be like, I don't think they have that kind of capability. You know what I mean? Well, the deep state is preventing the Department of State from pursuing peace, but not in China. I mean, well, I do think that parallel governments in general are they only happen to like America's enemy states because they're oftentimes heavily funded by the American State Department. Whereas like China is not one government that has issues like that, because I feel like they nip that shit in the bud pretty hard. Why are we reading the tweets of some random Chinese medicine seller? I don't fucking know. To be honest, someone sent it. I mean, it's just I'm discussing it. I'm also saying I don't think it's real. You know what I mean? Last hypothesis I guess is somewhat likely. There's a series of unfortunate events without malice on either side. Balloon deviates from course, gets in the U.S. airspace. People see it, and Pentagon feels it has to communicate about it. The media, wearing their usual China bad hat, decide to go all in on a scaremongering. Political opposition and China hawks jump on the wagon. Administration feels like it has no other choice than to cancel the trip and doesn't have political courage to say this is just a balloon that drifted off course. Well, I guess in this scenario, there is in fact malice on the media's part. I don't know. I already gave you my take. I think it's similar to the Chinese medicine peddler. The takedown cost $381,000. Hell yeah, baby. Look at that. Look at the glory of our weapons, dude. Money well spent, baby. Hey, you wanna prevent, you wanna fucking help the poor? You wanna build social safety nets? Fuck you. How else are we gonna have $400,000 missiles blowing up fucking weather balloons over the Atlantic Ocean? Fuck you, man. You fucking idiots. Shut the fuck up. Freedom ain't free, brother. Similar high-altitude surveillance balloons and airships have previously been spotted over Hawaii, Japan, India, and the Philippines. Pentagon is tracking a very high tracking a very high-altitude Chinese spy balloon over the northern U.S. Pentagon has decided not to shoot down the balloon, even though it's flying over sensitive sites. There are intercontinental ballistic missile silos in that area. Yeah, except they're fucking everywhere. Like this is America, man. There's guns everywhere. Same type of reconnaissance balloon was spotted over Sendai, Japan. Japanese officials said, we have absolutely no idea what it is. It may be some kind of weather monitoring equipment, but it definitely wasn't ours. Wait, so you mean to tell me that the cucked Japanese didn't immediately blow that shit up, dude? Wow. This is what happens when you're a pussy, okay? Do you understand? We, on the other hand, will drum up insanity, okay, for the entire week and then inevitably blow it up. Meanwhile, Japan, once home to Gundams once defeated Godzilla, can't even fucking blow up a weather balloon now. Shame. A shame. Okay, real shame, dude. Both of those things are canonical and historically accurate. Japan famously destroyed Godzilla and also has Gundams. Okay. Japanese officials confirmed that the balloon was equipped with a cross part hanging beneath it, as well as two propellers, but were unable to determine the purpose or owner of the balloon. Same type of reconnaissance balloon was spotted over Port Blair, India. Indian officials were unaware of its origins. Again, another country that is too pussified and too they-them militarified to be able to actually shoot this balloon. We, on the other hand, here in America are both scared shitless of balloons and also simultaneously will overreact and blow that shit up. Okay? Not happening. Air Force scrambled F-22s to investigate the same type of reconnaissance balloon off the coast of Hawaii on February 16th, 2022. An Air Canada flight spotted the balloon on approach to Honolulu. Indo-Pacific Command visually confirmed it was an unmanned balloon with an observable identification markings floating in the air. Yeah. That's it. The Pacific Missile Range facility on Kauai's west coast is one of the U.S. military's most advanced testing sites. The Navy describes it as the world's largest instrumented multi-environmental range capable of supporting surface, subsurface, air, and space operations. The U.S. Air Force F-22s intercepted the high-altitude unmanned balloon floating north of Kauai's Pacific Missile Range facility. Scrambled out of Honolulu on February to intercept the high-altitude unmanned balloon floating north of Kauai. U.S. Air Force KC-135R Steel 84 launched from Kalaeloa Airport to provide area refueling near the incident. Hawaii News reported Kauai residents said it looked like jets shot it down, and some heard loud booms. The military said it did not fire at the balloon.
Our first look at a large and mysterious balloon floating high above Kauai that prompted a military response. Hawaii's adjutant general says the military sent aircraft on Monday to check out the orb with no observable identification markings. Some residents say it looked like the jets shot it down, and some heard loud booms, but the military says it did not fire.
A high-altitude surveillance airship was spotted over Pangasinan, Philippines. Images of the airship taken about 62 miles from Subic Bay in the northern Philippines were first posted to Facebook and then Reddit. Bro, that shit looks like, okay, that's an alien, dog. Chinese state media reported there's no evidence that the airship was from China, though its design appears similar to the types on display at the Zhuhai Air Show. Brazilian media reported that the airship seemed to turn transparent and had broad similarities to high-altitude airships the Chinese companies are known to have been working on. The U.S. and other nations have also similar airships. Come to Brazil. The squirrel Twitter post by U.S. airships was August before that. Pretty sussy. I mean, we have them. We have the same ships. Dude, if someone has this tech, like, we're going to have it. That's crazy. The current Chinese spy balloon flying over the U.S. is flying over sensitive sites like Malmstrom Air Force Base, which holds over 100 nuclear-tipped ICBM silos. Red symbolizes active missile fields. Black is deactivated. Meteorologist Dan Satterfield backtracked the balloon's course and traced it to central China. DOD, considering the size of the payload, looking at the potential for debris and impact on civilians, we've assessed that it does not pose a risk to the people on the ground as it traversed the United States of America. Right. China does not need to fly a spy balloon over the... This is my favorite. Every independent journalist, ultimately, everyone who claims resurrected by Elon, independent citizen journalists, of course... China doesn't need to fly a spy balloon over the USA when President Joe Biden's son admitted to working for the spy chief of China. Someone should ask these Elon dick riders, okay, how Elon's relationship with China is. Why is that never called into question? You think Elon's on your side? If the Chinese government said, hey, we will shut down the Shanghai facility, okay, unless you kill every fucking blue checkmark purchaser on Twitter, he would literally kill you. He would just kill you. He would find a way to kill all of you, okay? He does not care about you, you fucking idiot. Elon Musk is not the president's son? Yes, ironic you say that, because Elon Musk has infinitely more power and more influence than the fucking president's crackhead son, you dumbass. Now, having said that, did Hunter Biden use the Biden name to get, like, I don't know, some fucking emerald from Chinese emissaries? Absolutely. That part is real. But if you think that, like, Hunter Biden's crackhead ass is, like, feeding China sensitive information, you're out of your fucking mind. You must be on the same crack that he's on. You know what I mean? Also, Elon Musk literally, I will repeat this one more time, has a lot more influence and a lot more power than Hunter fucking Biden, okay? The balloon is merely symbolic of China's control over the POTUS. Why does China need this balloon if they have tons of high-tech satellites? They don't, which is why the mainstream narrative of this being like this, surveillance equipment doesn't make sense, especially because the Pentagon already said they have better shit than this to look at our guns. Like the Pentagon immediately was like, yeah, it doesn't make sense because like they already have better shit to surveil us with. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's funny because Fox is like simultaneously saying Hunter and Joe Biden are Chinese agents, but also they need more info, so they send a balloon. Yeah, I mean, they're just basically hitting every avenue they can. And by that, I don't mean China. I mean Fox News and mainstream media. Do you get it? Like, they're just basically saying, like, again, our enemy is both weak and strong. They're embarrassing us, but also we're more powerful than them. But they're really powerful. They have all of the capabilities. But also at the same time, they sent this fucking weird balloon over as well for seemingly no reason. But also the reason is to flex their might. Let's talk about Jordan Peterson real quick. Speaking of crackheads. Jordan Peterson tweeted out this wonderful thing. He said, the Pareto principle predates capitalism. It predates humans, in fact. Are you listening, Marxist? The definition of a Marxist. You can lead a horse to water. This is in the 1970s, archaeologists in Bulgaria unearthed a vast Copper Age necropolis from the 5th millennium BCE. Inside Burial 43, they found the remains of a high-status male with more gold than it was found on the entire rest of the world in that period. Okay, so I love the take that, like, Elon Musk is looking at this and going, this is good. Okay? Yeah, my man is iced out. Okay? He is iced out the wazoo. Okay? Yeah, just the least the least iced out Albanian man. Okay? So, here's the thing. Also, what the fuck